welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, yeah.
A podcast brought to you by Justis. I'm Aidan.
I'm Cody.
And today I'm very excited because we're talking about conspiracies.
Yeah.
And conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so, starting out, did you see the latest Shane Dawson conspiracy video?
Yeah, dude. That's what, sparked my interest. I've always been a fan, I guess you would say, of conspiracy theories. I don't believe in, most conspirity theories.
But they're entertaining to listen to.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of conspiracy theories. So when that came up, it kind of sparked it in me again.
Yeah, because there was some really interesting ones in there.
Yeah. It was really crazy to see Brittany Taylor, because we've been watching Shane Dawson since he first started, and so she used to be on his channel all the time.
Oh yeah, it was we
haven't seen her
every
for years.
Video. Yeah,
so that was cool, but tragic story.
Oh yeah,
that was
insane
crazy.
Story, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, and especially that part of the video. So just go check out Shane Dawson's video if you want to know about that part. But the other conspiracies in that video, that's real world shit, man.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones was the Chuck E. Cheese pizza theory.
Dude, that one blew my mind.
They reused the slices.
So,
I mean, it's crazy to look at the pizza and it doesn't line up.
Yeah, so those of you who didn't see it, Shane Dawson, he has this theory that Chuck E. Cheese is taking leftover pizza that you leave on your table and then putting it together to make a whole pizza when they then sell a pizza to a new table. Yeah. And of course they're re-warming it up, maybe even sprinkling some cheese on it to
so that it kind of melts the pieces together a little bit.
There's all these pictures popping up of people's pizzas that look impossible. The complete opposite of symmetric.
They literally look impossible.
Yeah, like a puzzle piece that does not fit together.
You would have had to actually gone and rearranged pieces, I feel like, for it to actually fit together.
And so Shane Dawson and his buddies go in and they record their experience and they order a pizza and everything. And what's really interesting, there's this part, I don't know if you remember, but they're looking at the table next to them. And there's a bus boy. He kind of points at the table as he's walking past it because there's half a pizza still sitting there, right? Yeah. And he walks away and he comes back with a bus tub and he literally grabs everything off of the table except for the pizza.
Yeah.
So that's
crazy.
That part. See, the whole time I was giving Chuck E. Cheese the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I love Chuck E. Cheese. Who didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese when they were little, right?
I got jumped at Chuck E. Cheese, though.
Actually, I remember that
when
story.
I was, really little.
Yeah, bloody nose, right?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
So you don't like Chuck E. Cheese very much?
I mean, it's cool. They give me free stuff.
Yeah?
Because of it. So,
that's pretty chill. From the prize area?
Yeah.
That's cool. But, what I was saying about, so the bus guy, he must have marked that table as that pizza's still good. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
And I don't think they showed the conclusion of that, but I don't think they showed if he ended up grabbing the pizza or not. But isn't that weird that that was the only thing that he left?
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't know. It's I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a lot of things, though, saying, how some of the stuff could happen that they're saying, the pieces of pepperoni disappearing, with the way they cut it, the way it slides into the cut.
Yeah, I thought about that, but still, but you can still just get the, you know what I mean? I feel like that's not...
Yeah, and
you could see the pepperoni still, I feel like,
Yeah.
But I don't know, and then, that could be a factor.
And the other thing is, they, when they transferred the pizza, they were showing, okay, see, when you transfer it, it shifts it all around and makes it not look as round. But still, it didn't make it out of shape enough that it would make it...
I work in a kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm on the expediting line. I see pizzas all day.
Mm-hmm.
I judge if it's good enough to go out to the guest. I know how pizzas cut and how they look. They don't get that unshifted.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Maybe one piece,
ridiculous
one or
amount.
two. But then when you fix that piece, it literally fixes the entire pizza.
Yeah.
Like when one piece is misplaced, it's like a puzzle. It's literally how a puzzle works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like with the pizzas that a lot of people are showing, at least from my point of view, it doesn't look like that. Mm-hmm. And in Shane Dawson's video, they brought the pizza home. They even did some puzzle piece working. Again, I don't want to spoil the whole video, but it's pretty trippy. I recommend checking it out.
But an interesting thing though is YouTube is cracking down on conspiracy videos too.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to target things like the Shane Dawson video, from what they're saying, but more things like the Sandy Hook conspiracy.
I heard a rumor. I don't know if this
like
is true or not. This is just a rumor I heard from watching YouTube videos, but I heard that it started because of the flat earthers.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
So yeah, I heard that they want to crack down on it because, say you don't know much about things, say you
don't know much about science.
Yeah, so you just don't get out much, whatever you want to label it as.
Mm-hmm.
Say you go to work and one of your buddies is like, hey dude, did you know the earth is flat? And you're like, what? You're crazy. It's like, no, man. Like, I'm serious. I'll send you these links. There's all kinds of these legit videos on it.
These YouTube videos.
He sends you the links. You look it up. You start going down these rabbit holes, and it's very professionally done. And if you click on enough videos, it can be very convincing. And to someone that isn't very educated in those kinds of things, they could be easily fooled. Yeah. And so I think one of the rumors going around is they're trying to stop things like that from happening.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I think they're probably gonna have a hard time deciphering what's what. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Where's the line?
And they're gonna use a lot of like AI algorithm stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna run into a lot of issues.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people think that sites like YouTube, it's like they have like real people looking at all these things and watching the videos and making sure everything's good, and
it's all done digitally, all through artificial intelligence.
Yeah, which is it's surprising, but then when you think about it, it's like, of course, it's gonna be the most efficient way. But
what is the number? There's like thousands of uploads per second or something
really?
like that. Yeah, there's like some insane number.
Wow. No wonder we can't get a view. Damn, dude, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a crazy number, and that's the reason they cite is why they use the AI methods. Is because it's too much. That's for like humanly possible to look through. Yeah.
Well, I guess they have a point for the efficiency factor. We got to work out these bugs. But I guess we're the generation. We're the rats in this test, you know what I mean?
That's what I feel like what the solution would be is like, yeah, you can use the AI, but if it flags something, just like flag it for human review. You know what I mean? So like...
Yeah. I wonder if they have a system like there has to be some point
but I
where
feel like
human review has to come into play.
Yeah, but I feel like with how much issues there is on Facebook, it kind of seems like there isn't in some cases. Like there might be, just maybe not enough.
Facebook or YouTube?
I mean YouTube, yeah. I don't know why I said Facebook.
Same thing though.
Yeah.
Same thing happening over there. But before we get off too far from Shane's video, the whole cell phone thing.
What?
Can we mention that real quick?
What? The AI voice?
How like when you would call, it's been going around the internet, like when you would call someone on the iPhone with the new update, that person who picked up
that one
could, I don't know. I don't want to say this wrong.
I think what I think it was is
like they could hear your conversation before they even answered the phone.
Yeah, that's what it was. Before they even basically just getting the call in, while it's ringing, the microphone was active, I think.
Yeah, and then with FaceTime, I think in some cases even the camera was active.
Yeah,
that was
I think
really
so.
Crazy. So that was kind of showing that your phone, excuse me, has the ability to access your camera and microphone and turn them on without you knowing or accepting.
What a lot of it is when you download an app, it'll ask, do you do you want to give it permission to do this? And everyone just hits yes without looking.
Access your microphone.
But, like, I mean, all of these apps, they can do, except for, you know, things like Facebook and things like that, where it's like, yeah, to function for some of the stuff, it needs access. But for most apps, you don't need to give it access for it to work. Yeah. I mean, especially, like, imagine a flashlight app. There's no reason a flashlight app would need microphone permissions.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people just hit yes anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't have to hit yes. The app will still work in most cases. Yeah. Unless it's like needed. Unless it's a microphone
unless you're trying to
app.
take a video.
Exactly.
It doesn't need access to your camera. Yeah, and I guess that bug was discovered by a 14-year-old.
No way. So this is, when you think about it, this is a conspiracy that turned out to be true.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy part of this is, you mentioned earlier, with conspiracy theories, sometimes, you know, if you're someone that either brings it up or, you know, say you make a Facebook post about a conspiracy theory, some people look at you going, okay, I think they're a little bit crazy. Here comes the conspiracy theory, folks, you know. But sometimes they're right. Like, apparently this 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Who discovered the bug with the iPhone update.
Yeah, it was a FaceTime bug.
A FaceTime bug.
Yeah.
That's scary, man. Dude, can't you FaceTime like an insane amount of people at once now?
Yeah.
I think that's what the update was for. That's crazy.
And technology is going at a crazy rate.
So, do you have any more examples of conspiracy theories that were proven to be true?
There's some really interesting ones, but a lot of them that like you can find online, they're all centered towards like the government. You know what I mean? So some of the ones I found was like during Prohibition, apparently it's been proven that the government was actually poisoning some of the alcohol supply.
What?
Yeah.
That is that's not good.
And then there's
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That it's because they did it to make people not want to drink.
That's distrusting to the government.
Yeah, that's super sketchy.
Yeah, that's really sketchy.
Another one is MK Ultra, which is like one people always talk about, where they like the CIA experiments on like LSD and stuff, and like trying to brainwash people apparently.
So like were they trying to use LSD as like a truth serum or something?
Yeah,
or I bet they were just trying to figure out what they could use it for.
I think LSD wasn't the only thing they messed with too. It was basically just like a drugs and chemicals trial.
That's pretty sketchy. So were people like conspiring that this was a thing before it was outed?
Yeah, people were like there was conspiracies that the government was trying to work on mind control and truth serums and stuff like that.
And those of you who love Stranger Things, I think that's like the background to Stranger Things. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a theory.
And the first evidence was brought to public attention, I guess, in 1975.
How is it, like, did they just come out and admit it, or was there, like, an investigation?
It was by the Church Committee of the United States Congress.
Church Committee.
Oh, but in 1973, the CIA director like ordered all of the documents destroyed and stuff.
What?
And so that hindered the progress of the investigation. But
so they could have found sidekick children, and we'll never know.
We'll never know. You ever seen that
the
movie?
The indigo children are real.
The Men Who Stare at Goats.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
It kind of gets into this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Really?
Yeah, because it's about the guy who's psychic and recruited by the military, like for the different experiments and stuff, and apparently he can make a goat's heart stop just by staring at it.
What?
Was that a true?
This is a true story?
I don't know.
In the movie, could he really make the goat's heart stop?
In the movie, he did.
Huh.
But it was like a thing that changed him, kind of thing. Where like, it's a really entertaining movie.
Interesting. I might have to check that out.
It has George Clooney in it. He's the guy who stares at goats. Let's put it that way.
He's the goat starer.
Yeah.
Interesting idea for a movie.
And I think it was actually based on a book.
Oh.
Which I think might have been based on a real guy.
there was really a man who stared at goats and stalked their hearts.
Let me see.
See, so that's one thing. I'm happy we're discussing conspiracy theories that have been proven to be true.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm happy that we're starting off with that, because when people get on the topic of conspiracies, they just... I shouldn't, say all people, but, there's groups out there, when they see or hear conspiracy, they just turn away. Like,
yeah, they immediately think, like, all right, get away with your tinfoil hat.
Here's the BS. Yeah, so, it's like, everything's a theory, But, before I get too crazy with that, there are situations when conspiracy theories do get out of hand, like we mentioned earlier with flat Earth.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that and like the space is fake.
Yeah. Oh, that's
too. Yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much.
See, and for a long time, this might sound weird, but I respected flat earthers just in the way of like anyone can believe what they want. You know what I mean? I think it's crazy, but you know what I mean? They have the right to believe in it. But the rate that like they're converting people to their belief is starting to get alarming. Actually,
another really good example, it's one of the things that YouTube was aiming at with the crackdown, is the anti-vaxxers.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one to get into about like why I feel like it's good to ban that one, because that's one where legitimately people's lives are at risk because they're not getting vaccinated.
And isn't it kind of pointless for those of us who do get vaccinated if there's so many people out there not getting vaccinated?
Yeah, because the point of vaccinations is herd immunity, and so you need there's a specific percentage you need.
Humans.
Yeah, it's a herd of humans.
Yeah, it's weird to think about us like that. Man, we are animals.
Mm-hmm. We are. We've just advanced at an insane way. Like, just looking around. There's no other animal with something like this on Earth except for humans.
We're like too aware.
Yeah. And yeah, because with the anti-vaxxer stuff, like with herd immunity, you need a certain percentage for it to work. It's like, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
So yeah, a certain amount of people have to be doing it for it to even work.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's like 93% or something like that.
And isn't I heard it's even a myth that you can, because you know how some people say you can get sick from getting like the flu shot or whatever?
Yeah, the flu shot you can't get sick from. It's only if
it's a mutated version.
It's only if you are already sick. It can bring about your symptoms a little bit more, but
the shot itself isn't causing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, with just a little research, you can find a lot of answers out there.
And especially the biggest one is they used to say that vaccine caused autism, because there was one study that even the guy who wrote it himself said later on okay, nah, it was flawed. He was he straight up, they kicked him out of being a doctor.
So they saying a mother that gets vaccinated is more likely to give birth to an autistic child, or you can get autism from being vaccinated?
I'm not sure, honestly. Honestly, it might be both. It might just kind of be a whole vaccines and autism go hand in hand in their mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's and that's the crazy thing with celebrities who are anti-vax, because it's man, you got to be aware of your responsibility.
Yeah.
Having that big of a platform.
You're right. Celebrities have tons of responsibility. I wonder, are there any flat earther?
I feel like there are
celebrities.
There are. Let me see. Flat Earth celebrities.
Man. Flat Earth it would be such a cool idea for a movie, but now we wouldn't be able to take it serious. Because it's kind of cool when you think about it, or a video game, you know what I mean? The physics of it, the way they make it work, it's
especially if they actually do it a flat Earth would be how Matt Pat did.
Yeah.
I think, was it a film theory or a game theory?
maybe they already have created games like that. I think on Fortnite, it feels like you're on like a flat type of Earth.
But I mean, I think that's because you're in like an island, though. It doesn't really help.
Yeah, that might be more what it is.
So, Tila Tequila is a flat earther.
That actually sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard that before.
B.O.B. is a flat earther. Let me see.
You don't believe the Earth is flat, do you? I've never
no.
formally asked you.
Fuck no. That's the best way I can put it. Oh my gosh. Like, I just think it's so crazy. You'd have to basically be saying all physics as we understand it is a lie.
Yeah.
Which
you might as well believe we're in a simulation.
Exactly.
And at that point, that's a very hard way to live. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's tons of people, that actually have like things like schizophrenia and shit that they probably do believe that we're in a simulation, and that could really freak you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people with legit mental health issues.
I don't know how I brought all those connections, but we were talking about flat Earth.
Flat Earth, yeah. So B.O.B. Let me see. Shaquille O'Neal, I guess.
Really?
Is a flat earther.
Wow. Flat Earth.
That's crazy.
What do you think about... Here's a touchy one. What do you think about the 9/11 conspiracies? Me and you haven't talked about that much. As in, people saying that it was an inside job, like there was they could hear bombs going off and all that crazy stuff. It's been a long time since because I don't know, in some ways it almost feels disrespectful to be going into that and thinking about that. But when I was a lot younger, it really intrigued me because it seemed, like I said, it's been a while since I've looked into it, but it seemed like there was all this crazy eyewitness testimony of bombs were coming from here. I heard it, you know what I mean? They were coming from below and all that. So, but then again too, people never know what they saw. Yeah. You know what I mean? You interview people after a robbery or something, and
every witness says he's wearing a different color shirt.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Exactly. But with these kinds of things, it's then how do we figure it out? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. There's videos of planes going into the buildings. There's no videos of bombs going off.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say about that. It's an interesting conspiracy theory, but I think it is what it is, and that's the shitty part. It is what it is, and there's no special fantasy fairy tale here. It's just a shitty situation.
Because I feel like that's one of the reasons that a lot of people get into some of the crazier conspiracy theories is because they want more. Yeah, they want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves and everyone else.
Way to put it. Because everyone wants to be part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, and so they want to have something where they feel like they have this crazy knowledge that no one else has, and they think oh, you don't know the truth, but I know the truth.
Yeah, that's when like conspiracy theories too, like people that are hardcore into it, see, here's the thing. I think conspiracies are important to figure out the truth. But if you're obsessed with conspiracy theories, how do you get through life? How do you believe anything? Yeah. You know what I mean? That must be a tough way to live. Anyway, you have any more fun, real examples or conspiracies?
Well, right now there's a really interesting conspiracy going on. It's a little political. Okay. But it has some funny internet implications. Uh-huh. And that is, it's called QAnon. And it's basically a theory that there's someone posting on 4chan, which if anyone knows what 4chan is, it's one of the worst places on the internet.
A message forum? Is that?
Yeah, it's like an image board.
Okay.
I think would be one way to describe it. And it's one of the things where everything is anonymous. It's where the term anonymous, the hacker group, that's where it got its start is 4chan. And it's one of the crazy places of the internet. Like,
I would agree.
Full of crazy stuff. And there is a conspiracy theorist on the political board, which is very infamous for being crazy.
On the political board of 4chan?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a guy who posts basically cryptic messages, and he's just known as Q. Okay. Which is based on the highest top secret security clearance code of the energy sector of the federal government.
Oh.
And he's basically putting out conspiracy clues about the government, super crazy pro-Trump about how he's really the savior fighting against the evil Democrats.
And he's spreading this on the political page.
Yeah, and to the point where there's actually tons and tons, even Roseanne Barr is a QAnon believer.
So he's coming up with crazy things in favor of Trump.
Yeah, so he's basically saying okay, there's this timeline about how he's actually waging a secret war against the deep state, and he's working on getting all the Democrats arrested for their secret dealings and all this crazy stuff.
Democrats have secret dealings.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have as many secret dealings as the
basically how
conservatives.
Democrats are pedophiles, and it goes into crazy
Democrats
Pizzagate
are.
stuff. Yeah, it goes into some crazy stuff. And then, but
have they heard of the Catholic Church?
Just curious. Part of the craziest theory, is that there's a very big portion of people who believe that Q is Donald Trump himself.
Whoa!
Posting on 4chan.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's the root of the conspiracy, the tip.
I have to say, unfortunately,
Donald Trump is posting on 4chan.
I don't think he's a fun enough person for that. He doesn't feel like a troll to me. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, he is a troll. He's the troll, but he's not a smart troll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the leader of the trolls that are that never get out. They're in their basement on the computer for hours and hours
with his big buffet of Wendy's hamburgers.
Yeah, a bunch of rappers everywhere. Yeah. He's their king, man. He's the one who made it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Man.
So basically, the reason I was giving him that description is I don't think he's smart, and I don't want to say you have to be smart to pull that off, but because obviously he's smart, he's just the president.
Maybe it's because there's all these headlines and reports about how the reports they give him are very selective to make him think he's doing a better job than he is.
Fake
and
news.
So it's almost like he could be thinking there's all this crazy stuff happening, and all his aides are just yep, we're doing that for you.
An even funner conspiracy, what if this Q character is someone that's really close to Trump?
Yeah.
Someone, like one of his right-hand men, you know what I mean? He's over here, on 4chan, spreading all this crazy, I got you, boss, you don't even know, man. You don't even know, bro, I got you.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
See, conspiracies can be fun. I don't actually believe that, folks.
Oh yeah,
they're just they're fun thought experiments.
They are fun thought experiments.
It's fun to joke around and conspire.
And especially because there's very different types of conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. You have ones like this where all super political and crazy like that. And then you have ones like the Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy theory where it's okay, there's something.
You think he's going to get sued for that?
They sent a cease and desist from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll make a video on it and give us more details.
Yeah.
Man, because I'm telling you, dude, that video is crazy.
They're already facing, there's a lot of people basically saying, sending the cease and desist later. A lot of people on Twitter are saying.
He had to have ruined Chuck E. Cheese now.
Oh, yeah. It probably...
He ruined him.
Because there's a lot of people saying, sending the cease and desist letter, though, is, the worst thing they could have done with his following.
But,
all the people are going to, rebel against Chuck E. Cheese now.
I almost don't want to, call it a conspiracy. And, I almost want to look at Shane as, an investigative journalist in this aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he did it in a very journalistic type of way. Maybe not super, professional, But I think he's probably talking to his lawyer. He knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? And I think he did it from a very journalistic point of view instead of just sitting there with a mic conspiring about
Compared to like what BuzzFeed did, where they contacted the Chuck E. Cheese and went in the morning to have them show how they made the pizza. But it's like, okay, if you just set it up at the company beforehand.
That's just them trying to get footage, man.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the inside, like, no. Because they know that they're not going to be in there with they're going to be kicked out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unless they set something up like that. Yeah. It's going to be people like Shane who are small enough
get in with the little camera.
Between the cracks of society, but have a big enough following to where they can exploit things like this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you know what I mean? There's conspiracies and then there's investigative journalism. Very fine line.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to conspire to be able to get that great story, like Shane did.
Yeah, that video was really, really, mind-blowing.
What do you think about, here's another crazy conspiracy. And I'm using the word crazy very loosely.
Yeah. So I feel like we've just been throwing that word around willy-nilly.
I don't mean it in any offense. But here's a interesting, I should say, conspiracy. The moon. Did we or did we not go? What do you think?
I feel like...
On the record.
I feel like we did.
Yeah?
Because, I mean...
you know what? I feel like we did too, man. I feel like we did too. But I think there's something sketchy going on. Like, I think maybe some of the footage is fake. And I know that's weird, but I feel like back then... especially if we really are going to the moon, but it's going to be crazy hard to get all this footage. Or, maybe I feel like it was done not terribly innocently, but a little bit more innocently than just trying to fool, America. You know what I mean? It was more of this footage is hard to get, good angles. Let's have some good stock footage.
I feel you. And especially because they did it all live.
Defending NASA, but I like NASA.
They broadcasted it all live too, so I can imagine, with the technology back then, there was probably points where they lost signal or something. So it's all right, quick, switch to the other camera, and it's the pre-prepared image.
Not a lot of people talk about the whole moon thing anymore, but I'll tell you what, I would like to see another human on the moon. Yeah. But if I had to choose between the moon and Mars, I think I'd pick Mars first. Oh, yeah. Because we already hit the moon, you know what I mean? Now, to get a human on Mars... Oh.
Isn't there another country that's working on getting a man to the moon right now?
I'm not very current in that news.
I feel like it's not Japan.
China, maybe?
Japan... I almost want to say India.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because India's working on their space sector right now, I think.
I was going to say if it was India, but no, I think it was somewhere in South America where that, ancient... dang it, now I'm going to start talking about ancient aliens. Where that ancient, it's this carving, and it looks like this guy is in, the cockpit of a rocket ship.
Is it,
I think they found it in, South America somewhere or something.
Is it the giant one?
I think it's big, yeah.
Where it's, you have to be in a plane to see it?
No. Oh, that's the waving astronaut or something like that.
Yeah, that's the the Nazca lines and stuff.
That's different. Yeah. Those are cool too. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
What was I saying? The waving astronaut before that.
Carvings
dude. Oh yeah. So there's this carving. It looks like there's this dude sitting in a cockpit of a rocket ship, and it looks like there's fire underneath it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture after the podcast. I'll probably put it up for the viewers too. It's cool. It's cool. I think it's from South America.
Oh shit!
But anyway, that little ancient alien talk. But yeah, the moon conspiracy, dude. Not many people talk about it, but it is a little bit weird we haven't been on the moon since, but at the same time, it's an expensive thing to do, right?
And maybe
it's a lot of resources.
And they might have just got to the point where it's there's not really a reason to be up there. But there is one reason that they've been thinking about lately. I don't know about the government, but scientists in general, is it's helium-3 is a resource.
What does helium-3 do?
It is. they think it could be very useful in making a fusion reactor. as like the fuel for a fusion reactor. But
would we have this reactor on the moon?
Maybe.
Dude, I think that'd be dope.
But even if we sent it back, that could be useful. Because, like, fusion reaction is a lot safer than fission. Because fission is splitting the atom, right? And that creates a lot of waste.
And the energy from that is what you harness. But it also creates...
They use that energy to boil water and power a turbine.
Right.
That's how a nuclear reactor works.
So it's basically the most complicated steam engine ever.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it's like the most efficient steam engine ever as well.
Right.
Except but with fusion,
right,
it's combining molecules.
So it's when you're shooting them at each other.
Yeah, you're shooting them at each other and making bigger molecules. That's a fusion reaction. And it doesn't create the waste the way fission does.
That's interesting.
And so, like, helium-3 is seen as, like, a potential really good fuel for that, but there's not really much of it on Earth. But it is extremely abundant on the moon.
I wonder why and how.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Might have something to do with the atmosphere. If, like, maybe there's certain compounds... Because, like, all materials in the universe are made in stars.
Right,
and then, like, supernovas send out all that because
material.
The sun is a fusion reactor. That's what it is.
Oh man, I just started coming up with all kinds of conspiracies in my head.
Yeah.
Oh man, I go too deep on this show.
Yeah, it's like talking on this show always leaves me with more questions I want to look at.
I know. Yeah, like usually after we have these conversations, I spend way too long staying up that night, like looking up more about what we just talked about, which is what I should probably do the night before. But hey man, this is what sparks my interest. I'm hoping it's doing the same to the audience, I'm hoping it sparks some other people's interest and getting them to think outside the box. You know, I'm not asking anyone to believe in, again, I'm going to use that term, crazy. I'm not asking anyone to believe anything crazy, because the truth is, I don't believe in a lot. I don't believe in shit. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's damn fun to ask questions and to have little thought experiments and think about these things.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can always, like, learn something interesting just from thinking about, like, what the possibilities could be. Because if you think about, what if, like, we're in a world with completely different physics, you know what I mean? How would we do stuff in that world? Then it might give us an understanding of, like, okay, with this physics of our world. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, even if it's in conspiracy theory territory, it can give us, like, ideas of, like, even if, like, the conspiracy with all the political stuff about, like, civil war, if people are, like, preparing for that, then if a disaster hits, then, hey, they're prepared for a disaster in that case, too. So there are some cases where it can be, like, indirectly helpful, too, almost, I feel like.
Yeah, and that goes back to the whole, like, investigative journalism thing, like with Shane, it's going to take people that are willing to put in the work to truly discover answers and not just put up a show. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably people out there that don't believe in this shit, but they know people buy into it.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? They create material for them to eat up.
Yes, yeah. So they're just
taking advantage of people.
They know, they know that the conspiracy videos on YouTube can rack up millions of views, so they put out
I watch them.
Even ones they don't personally believe in, like, hey, I got this crazy conspiracy for you guys, this is the truth. Yeah. And they themselves don't even believe it, and they're just throwing it out there for the views. Yeah.
I mean, just think about Alex Jones, dude.
Oh my gosh.
He's, like, completely off the internet now.
Yeah. Like, it's like, finally.
Yeah, he was saying, like, especially the things he was saying about,
like, the Sandy Hook.
Yeah, the shooters.
Conspiracies.
And them being actors, and...
Yeah.
Man.
And, like, dude, his listeners put those families through hell, from what I've seen.
I bet. Well, one last conspiracy theory I want to ask you about real quick. The JFK assassination. Do you think he worked alone?
I don't know. There's a lot of theories about, like, the woman on the hill was apparently like yeah. There's like in pictures. There's a woman on the hill with a camera.
Okay.
And they think they might have been working together because they could never like find out the identity of the woman or like find the picture from like her angle, kind of thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
that sounds extremely familiar. So you think that
I think possibly he didn't work alone.
Yeah, like honestly, if he didn't get killed, I probably wouldn't think something was up. But the fact that he like died right away, like that's like shit, dude, like someone was trying to shut him up. You know what I mean? That's just what. Maybe I'm watching too many movies. Maybe I read too many comic books. I don't know. But that's what kind of like I don't know. I could believe something's up. Maybe he didn't work alone.
And you know, one of the craziest things too is they had JFK's like brain on file.
As one does.
They lost it.
How do you lose a brain? What?
They lost his brain. They don't know where it is. It's not in the archives anymore.
In the archives? Like, imagine, is there like this big old warehouse like in Indiana Jones? Like where they keep like the Ark of the Covenant and JFK's
like
brain, and then the brain went missing?
It's like a like almost like a Library of Congress type of like archive kind of deal. You know what I mean?
It's like our version of Library of Alexandria.
Yeah, where we just have like tons of like different historical and like relevant stuff archived, and his brain was one of them, and it just
went missing.
I
put air quotes up for those of you just listening.
Yeah, on the Spotify.
Went missing. Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds really weird, dude. Maybe it's with Walt Disney's brain, and they froze it, and they're waiting to be able to reanimate him. Again, I don't really believe that. I'm just having fun.
Yeah. Dude, there's some crazy stuff around JFK. Like, not talking about the conspiracy wise, just like some of the footage out there, just to watch. Like, dude, there's a really good footage that it's like close to the car, and they've actually like done like stabilization work on it, on the video, so you could see better. And bro, like you see chunks and everything.
Oh wow!
And like Jackie Kennedy, like you see her, like she tries to jump out of the car and grab pieces. So like, you know what bro, there's some crazy stuff you can see online.
It's crazy what humans do when they're in danger. It's just instinct. Dude, okay, so what do you think about the bullet that has like no markings on it? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
I'll have to put a picture up for the viewers, but dude, there's like, have you've seen bullets that have like gone through things, right? They're like they're completely destroyed.
Yeah, they're like mushrooms.
Yeah. Dude, this thing is like untouched.
Like pristine?
Yeah. Like, really? You know what, just Google for yourself real quick. Yeah. Google search
what, JFK bullet?
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be like one of the first things that come up. It is crazy, dude. Like, that thing doesn't look like it went through anything. And I think it was one that had supposedly gone through like I want to say multiple bodies.
Whoa.
Let me catch a glimpse real quick.
Is it that one?
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Bullets don't look like that when they get shot through things, right?
No, they look...
I mean, I don't know much about guns. I don't really shoot, but, you know, I don't think bullets are supposed to stay intact like that. So, that was an evidence.
What the hell?
So, you know, I don't know what to believe with all that. I just know that there's something weird. There's something weird. There's always something weird. You know what I mean? We're humans. We conspire and keep secrets and.
Yep, and there's a lot of secrets with humans that have just died because they weren't shared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't tell the secrets, and then you die, you take them to the grave with you. Yeah. They're lost forever.
Like I said, man, that's why we need investigative journalists. People willing to get their hands dirty and ask those questions. Can only wonder what our ancestors are going to think of us.
I know. That trips me out.
Oh, wait. I said that. And what our ancestors are going to think of us?
Oh. Our offspring.
Yeah, our future
generations.
Future generations, yeah.
that is something trippy to think about. Like, and just even thinking about if there's like almost like a civilization reset, you know, and they don't have electricity. Imagine all of the knowledge
that will be
lost forever.
We need to get on it, man. We need to start chiseling some rock.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Or we need to like find ways to like protect hard drives with like all the important information on.
If we can just figure out a like basically perpetual motion machine.
Oh.
Then just infinite power, and that's what people think a fusion reactor. Like because we've never been able to create like a successful fusion reactor. Like sure we can get fusion reactor going, but it's not efficient enough.
Self-sustaining energy.
Yeah, it's not efficient enough to like power itself.
Right. So we want something like from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it is like we're basically creating a sun.
Yeah.
Because there's apparently been experiments in China where they reach temperatures hotter than the sun. Like,
and that's not
many times hotter than the sun. I'm pretty sure that's just like a legit fact. Let me Google.
So when you reach these temperatures, is that something that can only be reached through fusion?
I think so. I mean... Maybe not only, but like
it's a definite side effect from fusion.
The fusion reactor apparently
it's
got
fusion
6 times
fission,
hotter.
Right?
Yeah, fusion. Right? Fusion, is like the sun bumping molecules together, forming new things,
right?
Which releases energy, and then there's fission, which is splitting the atoms.
Do you like how this became like a physics lesson? The conspiracy theory video.
I mean that's how down the rabbit hole works.
That's down the rabbit hole. So last few things I'll say. Between the moon, JFK, and Chuck E. Cheese, there's a lot of mysterious things out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we don't know.
A lot of unexplained things.
And so we gotta just try to ask questions.
Yeah, and that's what makes life fun, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not the only thing, but you know, that's one of the things that makes life so incredible, is being able to ask these questions and get together and think about the crazy things that could be. And it's what triggers great movies to be made.
Yeah, and I mean, it's even something like that's different in humans compared to animals a little bit, like being able to think about the what if scenarios. Like, because humans basically are the only things that have like
the ability to do this.
have stress about future events.
Yeah, that's real. Well, what about bear? They don't they stress about hibernation? I'm just kidding. That was kind of.
I don't know. I feel like
kind of a joke. I
think they only stress in the present when they're not fit for hibernation, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It's probably just like in their DNA to prepare, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not thinking about preparing. Instinct. They're living in the moment, and it's just happening.
Because it's almost like in like how some animals experience heat. It's part of like a hormonal cycle. You know what I mean? So it just gets a certain point in the year where like
those
the
chemicals
bear's body
releasing.
starts producing the hormones to like put on weight and stuff like that. Probably.
And then we're these over-intelligent monkeys conspiring over crazy things.
Yeah. We figured out the rules so we could break them.
Oh. What's that quote from? I like it.
I don't know. I was off dome.
Oh, I like it. Well, you know what? Quit while you're ahead. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to end it with that because I really, really liked that line. Well, I had a great time talking with you this evening.
Me too. It was very, very fun.
I hope everyone out there has a fantastic week. You want to give our social medias the good old shout out?
Yep. It is JustisBand on Facebook and Instagram, and In Justice We Stand on Twitter.
We will catch you on the flip.
Catch you on the flip side.